This Snell Creek homestead. This morning, it's just after daylight. Real quiet, pretty out. All I hear is birds. And that thing behind me right there, that green thing, that's red cedar. Red cedar, invasive species. Yeah, well, maybe for cattle or something, but not for goats. Kiko, especially. These kinkos are foraging machines. My does are getting heavy with kids right now. We got about 6 weeks. We'll have to be giving shots for long for CDT, but for now, that tree has tons of nutrient, and I got them in feedlot right now. I feedlot them in the winter. I hear people say don't. I understand. I've kept goats for 10 plus years. I got super healthy herd. I do not worm. I do not trim hooves. I feed hay. I feed other supplements, as you've seen in some other videos, like pumpkin. I'll keep them back. Sweet potatoes, sweet potato greens, but they're always on pasture. I got 17 paddocks. They rotationally graze through the spring, summer, and late fall and the winter. When deer season hits here, I got too many does that look like that are brown. Not saying anybody would shoot them, but I feel better if they're in the pen. Second thing about that is all the frosts are happening. Pastures aren't gonna recover if they come in short through the winter. I did it. I tried it. It just leaves them too barren during the winter time. So what happens in the winter time is it needs an insulation blanket there. It needs some growth for spring and to make it through this winter. So saying all that, I feed cedar trees to them. It's a scrub tree, red cedar. It's a scrub tree, but here's what it has: tons and tons of vitamin C. It's got tons of tannin. Well, tannin makes things sick, they say. Okay, maybe, not goats. Tannins kill worms, parasites in their bellies, in their digestional tract. These worms will, right now, are dormant because it's winter time, but they are still stuck in them, waiting for the hormone change at birthing time. When that birthing time comes, they know it's spring because that's a natural cycle. These worms will wake up and pretty much bleed your does dry if you don't have a healthy herd. I don't use chemical dewormer. I said it before. If I do, it's one doe once every few years. If it's any kind of repeatable problem, she's got to go to the meat hook. We cannot have that goat making our pastures full of worms. So we're going to cut this tree down. I'm going to show you how they eat it and prove to people that they eat cedar good. Saying that, usually you see my other videos, I'm a chainsaw guy. I love the chainsaw. I love the maintenance. I tell you, I hate the stink though. It really stinks. The smell of it. The oil gets in me and kind of congests you. I cut down 3 smaller trees about 8 feet tall this morning, and this one is probably, I don't know, maybe 20 feet tall. It's pretty good size. I used a Sawzall. Check the blade out. Oh, can we see that blade? Yeah, there you go. Get yourself an aggressive tooth blade. It will blast through these trees. This tree here looks like the diameter, about 6-inch diameter. We'll see what it does. I'm only going to take, well, I'm going to drop the tree on the ground, and then I'm going to cut some limbs off of it because it's winter, and that will make a good fence post. But I don't want to waste it, so I'm going to strip some branches off of it, and we'll just take the top with the other ones, and then later I'll throw the branches in with the goats also. Let me show you this, and then I'll show you how this thing comes down. So I stripped some branches off of it. That way I ain't got to bend over and do it. I'm probably going to cut it off at the ground. Then I'll come up and cut my log out. I'll have branches on the ground. I'll have to collect them up with a tractor or throw them in a bucket or something. Take them up to the goats. I'm going to pause the video, get it on the ground, and I'll show you how fast I can cut through it on the second cut. All right, got it on the ground. I'll take some more branches off to get my log length. Well, these are pinch, just like everything else pinches, chainsaw or anything. I pinched it there. So when you're cutting, make sure when the pressure of the branch or tree comes down, try not to pinch it. I should pay a little more attention to that. All right, I'm ready to cut my log out. All right, now it should be getting ready to pinch again. So I'm going to cut from the bottom side. So the Sawzall works, but it does have its drawbacks. It is battery powered. It's you know, that's a lot of tree. I was pinching it. I need to not be pinching it. I'm going to drag this up and I'll show you how the goats react to it. So we'll lean our fence post up against the tree with the other fence posts. Let it season out for the winter. Winter's the time to cut your fence post. You can see how beautiful that cedar is. You hate to tear it down, cut it down, but really, it don't have a whole lot of value for most people, but it does for me. So we try to harvest what we can. I try not to over harvest it. So let me get you a picture of that red. That red cedar's cool. All right. Well, I drug up 3 about 6-foot cedar trees. That big long one I cut down, I'm leaving back here until I get the tractor. Too much for me to drag. I'll feed that in, probably in about a day or two from now. Give that the time to be in their belly and weaken those parasites up, and then hit them again with that cedar. So I'm gonna chuck a couple of these out here, and I'll show you what if they like. Well, let's just see if they like them or not. Seem to like it. Those kinkos, they will eat. They're not picky. They're not starving. Got a round bell there. I got a round bell in the barn for them to get to. Set this back down. Oops. Seem to like it. So an animal knows what it needs, and it knows it needs some worming and some good green protein. They'll have this cleaned up in no time, and then we'll hit them again, like I say, a couple days from now. We won't be having no birthing problems. We raise strong goats here. That's what we're going to continue to do. Snow Creek Homestead, out.